I still remember the day they laughed at me, the sound echoing through our living room like a sinister symphony. My mother's voice was the sharpest of all, slicing through my heart as she announced to the family that I'd lost my mind. A wildlife biologist researching cryptids? This is delusional, Adam. You're going to disgrace us. Their mocking laughter felt like a knife in my back, twisting deeper with every sneer. I was defending my reality, and it was a battle I lost. Years have passed since that day, years of solitude filled with the whispers of shadows in abandoned streets and the soft rustle of myths come to life. I retreated into a world where the grotesque was mundane, and the impossible whispered my name. The urban outskirts became my second home, the dark corners of the city my sanctuary. I immersed myself in the legends, their tales of predatory creatures lurking in the decayed remnants of society. They called me mad. I embraced the chaos. Now, I stand on the threshold of my childhood home, a place once filled with laughter, but now suffocated by the weight of expectations and ridicule. My heart races. I've come back to show them the truth they so adamantly denied. I am not the disgrace they thought I was. I am the harbinger of horrors they cannot yet comprehend. Adam? The voice is tentative. My sister Rebecca's. She peeks from behind the door, her face pale, as she registers my presence. I can't help but notice how she's aged, the lines of disbelief etched into her skin. What are you doing here? Let me in, I say, my voice a gravelly whisper, filled with the weight of unspoken terrors. They let me in. They've all gathered. My mother, my father, Rebecca, even my younger brother Ben, who's now a tall, brooding shadow of the boy I once knew. They greet me with wary expressions, uncertainty hanging thick in the air. I clutch my bag tightly, the weight of my findings pressing against my chest like a coal-black heart. What do you want? My mother asks, her tone dripping with skepticism. I've seen things, I say, my voice trembling with urgency. I've uncovered truths. Cryptids are real, and they're walking among us. Laughter erupts again, hollow and cold. You're still obsessed with that nonsense? My father spits, his eyes narrowing in disdain. You've wasted your life on fairy tales. I feel the familiar sting of hurt, but I push it down. I've endured worse. You don't understand. I can't explain everything, but I have proof. I've documented their behaviors, their patterns. Patterns? Ben scoffs, rolling his eyes, more like the patterns of a delusional mind. I can't stand their mockery anymore. I pull out my notebook, filled with sketches and notes, pages stained with the remnants of my fear. I flip it open, revealing photos of the grotesque creatures I'd encountered, the shadowy outlines of beasts that defy the laws of nature. Their eyes, glinting like shards of glass in the dark, watch me from the pages. The atmosphere turns electric, a heavy silence settling over the room. I've come to warn you, I continue, my voice steadying. They're closer than you think. They're not just in the whispers of folklore. They're in the alleys, waiting. You need to believe me. But my words hang in the air, heavy and unwelcome. They exchange glances of disbelief, their faces twisted in expressions of horror and amusement. My mother's eyes narrow. You've lost your mind, Adam. You need help. As I prepare to leave, my heart sinks deeper, but I realize I must show them, not just tell them. I invite them to join me at the edge of town, a place I've come to know well, a derelict warehouse rumored to be a hunting ground for the cryptids. They can't ignore the warning forever. Once we arrive, I can feel the weight of the darkness settling in, a thick shroud that seems to whisper my name. Stay close, I urge them, my breath hitching in my throat. The air feels charged, alive with anticipation. We stand together in the shadows, the building looming ominously before us. I lead them inside. the scent of decay filling our lungs like an unwelcoming embrace. "Listen," I whisper, my heart pounding. "You'll hear them." In the darkness we wait. The minutes stretch like an eternity, filled with the sound of our breathing and the soft scurrying of oblivion. Then it comes, a low growl reverberating through the walls, sending chills racing down my spine. It was that. Rebecca gasps, her face paling as the sound grows closer, a chorus of guttural growls echoing through the air. My family clings to each other, their skepticism fading like smoke. "It's just an animal," Ben tries to say, but his voice is shaky, filled with fear. But I know better. I was prepared for this moment. With a trembling hand, I pull out my phone, the flashlight illuminating the warehouse. As the beam cuts through the darkness, a figure emerges from the shadows, tall, gaunt, eyes glowing like embers in the abyss. "No!" my mother screams, her voice cracking. The creature hunches closer, its features twisted, reflecting the disbelief that had once draped over my family like a thick veil. I step forward, feeling the weight of their horror blending with my own. "It's real. It's all real. You have to believe me now." As the shadow lunges, chaos erupts. My family runs, but I don't move. I stand my ground, breathing in the fear, the realization crashing down upon them like waves. In that moment, they understand the horror of disbelief, the consequences of scorn. They realize the darkness I embraced wasn't just madness, but survival. And as the creature slips into the light, its terrifying form illuminated by the beam of my phone, I see the horror wash over their faces, fear intertwined with regret. I turn to face the creature, my heart pounding in synchronicity with its growl. I know now that this is my truth, my burden. I will carry the weight of their disbelief, but I will also wield the knowledge that fear can birth understanding. As my family flees, I remain rooted, finally free from the shackles of their ridicule. I am no longer their disgrace. I am their warning. And with every step they take away from me, I feel the dark crown of knowledge settle upon my brow. In the echoing silence left in their wake, I embrace the truth of my existence, a chilling reminder that some horrors are born from disbelief. The darkness has woven itself into my soul, and in that haunting moment, I realize that the line between madness and truth is often drawn in blood.